Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca Fernandez. I'm a corporate governance officer at IDB Invest. And today I want to talk about a challenge that is very common to academic institutions. It's a governance challenge, and it's how do you balance an academic mission with commercial sustainability? And with me here, it's Sandrea Maynard. She is the Vice Chancellor for Global Affairs at the University of the West Indies. And she's going to share with us the journey, the governance journey of the International School for Developmental Justice, who is building a governance framework that is actually going to build those realities, so bridge those realities. So, Sandra?
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me. So I sit also, in addition to being the Pro Vice Chancellor of Global Affairs, I also am the CEO of the International School for Developmental Justice. It is a completely online school, asynchronous delivery, and supported by yourselves here at IDB Invest. And it's a school dedicated 100% to sustainability master's programs or all the qualifications leading up to those master's programs. So you can have a postgraduate certificate, you can have a postgraduate diploma or a degree. So it's exciting, but the governance it's really brought out some very interesting elements with regards to academia versus the corporate world. Because we run the Inc., as you know, universities have a very traditional structure. It's very committee-based, it's semester-based, and it tends to really revolve around deliberative approvals. Whereas as an organization now, we are a school and a corporate entity, we really need to be able to speed that up to respond to the marketplace. And that responsiveness requires a governance structure that allows us that freedom to be able to do so. So often there's clashes that exist between that space. One of those areas I'm going to say, for example, let's take partnerships. We need to partner with persons. It's very important, whether it's other academic institutions, to be able to give our students a value add, or working with accrediting bodies. It's really important that we are able to respond to the marketplace, and that is what corporate entities have to do. So there is a challenge there, and I will say this, that it is not just about compliance. That's the important thing. It's not just about let's get a structure together in governance, let's see what we can do, and we put it aside in a beautiful document and let dust gather on it. It is meant to be that strong, responsive infrastructure that we need to scale the business. Because I always say this, whilst we are, the ISDJ is a for-profit business, I operate within the University of the West Indies, which is, it's public. It's supported by, 14 governments within the Caribbean, all of the Caribbean islands. And so there is a responsibility that the university have to the provision of education, but I then have the challenge of dealing with the corporate side, which means that I have to make money to make sure that we get a return on investment.
It's a big challenge, correct?
It is an exceedingly good challenge. Yes.
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 And going on that point, we have been working, IDB Invest and the university and the school, to create a governance framework that actually helps you, achieve this very big task. And I wanted to ask you to walk us through how IDB Invest has been supporting you. What has been the road that we are, traveling together, so maybe some other institutions can get inspired?
Well, the great thing about the role is that first and foremost, you understood the importance of governance being in place before we started this. That's an essential part of this, because we have to build on that. So what we did was we put together the team. So we had a team from IDB Invest, yourself and Catalina. We had an independent solicitor, or lawyer I should say, and that was Camille Facey. So thank you to her and her team that have been exceptionally supportive. And then, of course, we had the team from both the ISDJ and the UE. So that working group worked meticulously through all elements of governance. And why that was important, because we have to manage risk. And as you know, the challenge is universities manage risk differently to how corporate bodies manage risk. And so in looking at how we dealt with this, we took a collaborative approach. That was the best way to deal with that in that format. And so we took our time. As you know, we walked through each area that would be impacted, and we struck a balance really between what the corporate world demands and then what the academic institution demands. So as a result of that, we've just actually finalized our documentation as far as governance is concerned. And what that does is it really gives us a good basis and a good grounding for what we want to do moving forward.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear this, that you have everything that you need to move forward. And my next question is precisely that. So now the school has the framework.
Yes.
It's going to work in implementation. But then what happens next? Because companies, as you know, they're not static. They move, they evolve, and governance has to evolve with them. So what is ISDJ thinking of doing to adapt that governance framework as it grows, evolves, and becomes successful in this arena?
Well, we have to go with it. This is alive. Governance is as alive as the actions that we do as part of ISDJ. And so, like I mentioned earlier, it's not going to be a document that's going to sit there and gather dust. It's going to have to evolve as we evolve. We have to manage risk. We have to ensure that as we grow and as we may expand into different areas, that governance is covered and it moves along with us. It's essential. That's all I'd say. I know a lot of people sort of go, governance, really? Do we really need this? We do. We need those guardrails. We need protectionism, not just for our students that come to us, but also for us as an institution in what we provide to them.
Exactly.
So all I can say is, as much as we cringe at the word, it's one of the best words. That's all I can say.
I love it.
And along with standardization. So that's really important.
Perfect. No, this 100% agree. You know that we have worked so much to get this going, and I'm sure that the road ahead is just going to be successes. And I look forward to see what the ISDJ is going to do next. I mean, we heard from other panelists here how important capacity building and sustainability is. So I think the mission of the school, and this is something that we understood from the very beginning, is key. And we're happy to provide the support, so you guys have the proper framework to be successful.
And thank you so much for mentioning that. The key theme this year at SW26 has been people, and that is part of that. Capacity building, and that's what we're here to do. So thank you again for your support, and may it continue.
Well,
much appreciated.
No, thank you for sharing your experience, and thank you for the audience for
Thank you all for listening.